Well, hello and welcome to everybody. We're really grateful that you've been able to join us tonight for our team training and Zoom. It's lovely to see you all, and I hope you've been wrapping up warm, as it's certainly got a lot colder now. We've got some really exciting things, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have Cathrine and Johnathan with us to share some amazing tips on building the business and how they share the business. I do have a couple of quick announcements for everybody, so I'll just briefly do that now. And that is, so, oh, just went through the whole thing. That is this one here. So the first one is just there are a couple of dates left of the doTERRA Europe tour. It's been really successful and a lot of fun for those that have been able to attend. Tunbridge Wells, Reading and Belfast and Edinburgh. So if you have any friends or people that you'd like to take along, do get them along. And as we know, there's this great little kit available as well, but it's a lot of fun. People have been really enjoying the event. So if you can get along to those, certainly do. We then have, which is really great at the moment, some special Christmas related gifts that doTERRA are sharing. There's two that I really wanted to draw your attention to that Lindsay got really excited about, and I'll be honest, I did as well a little bit. The number one is the hand wash, not necessarily actually for the holiday piece soap, but more for the glass dispenser, because if you've ever used those plastic dispensers, number one, they're plastics, they're not great, but they do get quite grubby, and with our kids, they're always covered in like paint and mud, and I hope it's mud, and anything else, but these glass bottles look really smart. And the other is the trio, the touch trio of Serenity, Helichrysum and Balance. That's a lovely trio on itself of oils, but even better that they're in a touch combination. So they're pre-diluted with coconut oil. So they come in quite a snazzy little display box. And the last one that I know a lot of people have got is this travel case. We're always looking for things to put our doTERRA oils in, so another case is certainly one to look out for. So really nice, great for Christmas, and yeah, just really lovely. The next is, as you know, I'm sorry, WhatsApp has gone. Hooray for some others, but it did have to go. It's just getting too big and too difficult to find questions and answers. My oil community is being a lovely place, so thank you for everyone that answers people's questions and helps those people who are starting their essential oil journey. It's a lovely place to be. This Wednesday, I'm going to be actually doing a live on how to clean your diffuser. The reason being is that a lot of us actually forget that you might need to do that. And recently I've been going around the house cleaning our diffusers and making them all work really nicely. So I'll do some little tips on that. But it's going to be lovely to have more and more people on there. So thank you in advance for those that help others. And thank you again for those that have helped in the past. So that's my oil community for anything oil related. We then have My Oil Biz, which is our business only page, which is really nice. It's a safe place for anyone doing the business. And when I say doing the business, I mean along the lines of this is something that you would like to grow and develop. And it's just a place where we can keep all that business related talk in one place. So we're not kind of diluting the lovely oil chat that we have. And it was actually, I just wanted to briefly show you a couple of things on that Facebook group. So I'm going to just stop sharing there and I'm going to share my browser. Okay, so this is My Oil Biz. I hope you like the more business orientated page. Got it from Keely Martinez and her lovely One Oil Drop page where you can download loads of graphics. I actually have a monthly subscription to that. So if there are any images that you see, just send me a message and I'll happily share those images with you because it's a subscription-based service. But really nice. So I tried to keep it really simple. So the two things I wanted to draw your attention to was number one, the questions that we're asking people when they actually join the group. So we've got 5 people requesting to join. So the first thing is we ask is who actually introduced you. The next is that this is not for customers or sharers, but for those actively building the business. So simply asking if they are. And this is a key part. It says, in order to get the most from this group, we encourage you to turn notifications on and work your way through the units and get involved with threads and posts. Now, please don't spend all your time on here. Get a balance. It's a great place to be to get any help. And when I mentioned about the units, that is actually over the left-hand side. You can see we've got these different tabs here, and then one of them is called units. Now, if you press units, this is basically a great way that you can work your way through, if you're just starting out with doTERRA, on what to do and where some of the resources are. So you literally click unit 1, and then you can work your way through. So for example, starting your doTERRA business, actually start to use the oils, then lots of lovely links on the different trainings and helpful Facebook groups, like Essential Gifts of the Earth. And then also I talk a little bit about events. And then further on down, we've got the guides, and then a little bit about the launch guides and how and where you can find those. And all of these, say for example, you want to know more about inviting to the class, if you click it, it will take you directly to inviting that person to the class. So I've tried to make it as straightforward as possible, all in one place, so that when you do have time to do doTERRA, you're not spending loads of time trying to find it all over the place. The last bit, just to draw your attention to, is the files. I have plonked all of doTERRA's files and documents and anything you could possibly want in here. I did actually just update the sample menu, which is something that I use whenever I'm meeting someone new who I'm introducing to doTERRA. Quite often it's a little bit difficult to say to them, oh, what are you suffering from, or what can I help with you, help you with? And instead, this lovely little form, A, B, C, D, and E, they can just choose which of these statements best applies to them. And then they let me know, and then I can give them a sample. And we actually have that printed on a little business card, so we can give that to people. Or when I do a fair, I just have it laminated and put there. So that's something that's worked really nicely for me. So great. That is what I have to share announcement wise. So now I'm going to sit back and relax, hand the time over to Cathrine and Johnathan, and have an evening off. So over to you guys.
Thank you, Daniel.
Hey, everybody.
Okay, let me just share my screen. Working. Yay. Okay, so tonight we're going to be talking to you about how top things that we've been doing to build our business the doTERRA way. And what I really, really love about doTERRA is that, yes, it is a network marketing company, but boy, it does it a completely different way. And so, and it's really, really important for us to protect that and to do that correctly. So we're going to share with you a couple of our top tips.
Yeah, and I think it's also important to sort of set the scene a little bit that, you know, we've been doing doTERRA for a while now, and at the beginning, we made a few mistakes. We sort of tried to do it very much our own way, and that is correct in using your own personality and your own passion. But we thought, no, I'm good at this and I'm good at that, and we kind of made a few mistakes, and other things came in, and then we kind of had sort of like a light bulb moment in going to some of the retreats with doTERRA and the conventions, and then that's when the magic started to really happen, when we started to reevaluate what we were doing as a business. And so this, as Cathrine said, this is part of our top tips. So some of you may already be doing this. And so number one is develop positive daily habits. So Daniel mentioned last time, and a few others have mentioned, be a product of the product. So for me, being and sharing doTERRA and how we share it with potential business opportunities is actually using the essential oils. So one of the cool ways that I do is I decided to drop what do you call it, underarm sprays and stuff like that, and then natural aftershaves, so that when I would go to my activities that I was getting involved in, I was using the essential oils as an aftershave, thinking, oh well, let's give this a go. And the response that I have and had causes conversations to arise. So that's part of developing positive daily habits. And for
like
you,
a walking diffuser. If people can't smell you arriving, you're not doing it right.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, positive, and it's incorporating things that we learn as well. And so, is there any daily habits that you've?
Yeah, I mean, if you, and actually this is very true for like your spouses, because oftentimes it's the wife will start using them and then the husband's like, whoa, hang on a minute, how much are you spending on these oils? But if you become the product of the product, you know, if your hormones are balancing, you're less ratty, you're less tired, that is a win. And actually, do you know what, the best business partner that you can, you know, develop is actually your spouse. Not because you want them to take over and do the business with you, but because you just want to have them on side. And being the product of the product, taking those essential oils for things that stress you out, and this is where I'll go completely like maybe a little bit naughty, but low libido, that is some issues for some people. But if you're using essential oils to support with all of your relationships, whether that is with your spouse and your family, then you're creating these daily habits that are going to make people notice that there's a change. Now, lifelong vitality is one of the core main ones that you definitely get on and figure out and learn how it affects you, because to be able to share that with people and their experience, you need to be using it yourself. Yeah. So those are core, definitely daily habits that we have developed that have, and once we developed them, doors started to open.
Yeah, and I think there's an old saying that goes with the habits, is master your habits before your habits master you. And that definitely is something about whether it's sharing the business, whether it's using the oils. Start small and work your way up big. So it might be that you're great at taking notes about calls that you've had with potential builders or potential customers, but then you lose them because they're small, tiny, sticky notes. So it's a case of finding a formula that works for you, whether that's changing to an Excel grid or whether that's changing to a book. And so that you don't lose those notes. So it's just developing those positive daily habits. So number 2 is make friends. So find people finding activities. This is something that me and Cathrine have really started to surround ourselves with over the last sort of year. And it can be anything, but make sure it's something that you have a passion for. Like everybody's different. You have some that are more introverted, so it could be some sort of activity that's online that you interact. It could be a reading club, it could be a baking classes that you do, it could be running clubs. And as I said before, and Cathrine, developing these positive daily habits, I would be putting on these oils when we go to these things. So, for example, I went to a friend of mine who said, would you like to come over for a guy's poker night? And I was like, brilliant opportunity to me to splash on the oils. I even bought some in my pocket. And straight away, you know, guys do embrace and they're like, dude, what is that smell? And it's great because it opens the door for me to not only make friends, but also incorporate my passion and my love for what we do. And so you've also had that experience when you're making friends as well.
Totally. I absolutely love it. And then the next one is, and you're really good at sharing this one anyway.
So number 3 is always be prepared. I've always been a firm believer in the luck favors the prepared. And I'm a firm believer in that you create your own luck. And that is, so sometimes you have these amazing people that you've been talking or you know them, and you've got that feeling of, I just need to share my passion for the business. I just need to share what this business opportunity is. And sometimes this can be a one-on-one, And so many one-on-ones I've had that have been really successful is I take a business leaflet with me. That's
like the build guide.
Like the build guide, yeah. Because I always need a resource to go to, because I'm not great at memorizing things. So what I do is I listen to them, I engage with them, tell them, most of all, ask them about what they do and stuff. And then at the end, or in the middle, when I feel it's right and the time is right, I say, look, this might not be for you, but can I just show you something that I'm dead passionate about? And also, this is an amazing business opportunity, because I know, and I pay them a compliment, which is genuine. I know that you are an amazing entrepreneur and you have an amazing business mind. And I'd love for you to go over this business opportunity, because it may not be for you, but you may know somebody that this would work for. And then I leave them with that, and then I might follow up in a couple of days, and I've already got a few people that I'm going to follow up with and say, hey, do you remember you said that you might know somebody, and I asked you to look over that? Would you be able to share? And every time they're like, wow, yeah, I'd love to, but really, I'm going for them. So that's what I do.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we had one lady who said, well, what about me? And that was really funny, because you're like, aha, yes, it worked. But yeah, so then we're going to talk a little bit more in depth about listening and asking questions, because that, like Johnathan says, is so key to the things that we're doing that are successful. And then you're going to talk a little bit about
tell good stories and testimonies.
Stories.
Yeah. So which one are we on? Number 5.
Yes.
So tell good stories and testimonials. I think this is super important in what we do. We have so many stories of people that we've helped, people that you've helped, people that have come to the business. And there's so many different things that we can do. And I think this is the way to capture people's attention. So, for example, if somebody's talking a talk of some kind to a multitude of people, if they're reading from a piece of paper, their heads drop down, they're not engaged. When you're telling a story, and you can even sometimes, we can even show them on Facebook, say, look, this is Lindsay, or this is Sarah, or whoever it might be, this is the story, this is their journey. And then also we share testimonials of what those people have said, because we have testimonials. And it's really, really powerful. And it's relatable. And that's the key thing, is that people can go, well, yes, I had that sort of struggle with migraines. Wow, I didn't realize you could use this and you could use that. I would love to try that. And so that's how powerful it is. So please never underestimate, whether it's small or whether it's big, how big the stories are. They're super powerful.
Absolutely. And the other thing is, so listening to inspiring podcasts and YouTubes, I know Johnathan wants to talk about this one as well. But basically, we often talk about mindset is key. Now, this can frustrate some people, because they're like, for goodness sake, just tell me exactly what I need to do to achieve this. I don't want you to tell me it's about mindset. But actually, mindset is the foundation of you being able to be successful. If your mindset is, I can't do this, you won't be able to do this. And more and more evidence and more studies have come out that, whatever your mind believes, you will achieve. And so you really, really have to look after your mind and look after your thought process in what you're trying to achieve. So for example, if I was to come in to do a class with a really negative mindset of, oh my gosh, like only one person's arrived today and I've used up all my time and only one person's here and actually they can't even stay for the whole class, what a waste of my time. That is going to come across in everything I say and I do. Whereas if I say to myself, do you know what? Even if they're going to be here only for 20 minutes, I can achieve so much in that 20 minutes. And it's because she was meant to be here and I was meant to be here, and it will make changes for good in their life. It's a completely different mindset approach, and it's really successful. Now, sometimes our mindset is not strong enough to do that on our own. So we need drip feeding of really inspirational talks, podcasts, whatever it is that you really find uplifting. I really love listening to successful doTERRA business people. I really love listening to them, because sometimes they talk about how they share the business, or how they share specific elements of what's going on, or how they share the class and why and how it's really successful. And it lifts me. And then when I go into these situations, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that person said they did it like this. Now, like Johnathan says, it needs to be yourself. It needs to be your way, but using their positivity and knowing, and especially when you're starting off, you know, when you're starting off, the money's not quite there. So you need those testimonials of that this business is a successful business, you know, and that actually when people put in the correct work, they are so successful. And it is totally a job. And so we do have to put in work. And it's really exciting.
Yeah, I think, and when it comes to listening to inspiring podcasts, whether it's YouTube, I personally do love podcasts and the odd YouTuber. You've got to think of yourself as, so some of you that will have started out doing doTERRA as a business, this may be your first business that you've ever started. And so you are growing not only as your customer base and your business, but also yourself. And somebody once said to me, and some of you will have heard it, some of you won't, that's new to it, that this journey is a personal progressional journey, it wrapped up in essential oils. Now, I can definitely 100% confirm that is true. It really, really is. And so by listening to these podcasts or YouTubers, you might have time to read a book. I don't. And I absorb it more. And I've actually incorporated some of what these podcasters have said. So for example, Eric Worre, in how he goes of how to do network marketing, how to, for example, the people that say to you no. I used to be very much of, oh, they've said no, I'll switch off, that's it, I'm done. But actually now I go, no, they go onto my yes list. They're just not ready yet, and they just don't know it. And so I learned that from a podcast. And then I would then slowly just focus on the friendship, because when you start this business, some of you might feel that it's a race. Some of you might feel that I've got to find a builder. Some of you might feel of like, oh, how do I do this? And so the simple thing is just be your unique self, learn and progress yourself, and just be genuine and be and create friendships. And that's what listening to the podcasts help you do for me. Number 7.
Yeah, enthusiasm. Now, this one's always made me laugh, because if I have been to some events where you've got somebody trying to tell you something about something, and they're so like non-enthusiastic about it that you're basically like, you forget to listen, which is obviously not a good thing. You want people to want to hear what you've got to say. And if you're being really lackluster with what you're saying, for example, oh yeah, you know, well, this oil may help with this and it may help, like your language is so important. So if you're really lackluster in how you're explaining things, then people are just going to switch off. And actually, this is the difference between a customer and a builder. Attracting a builder and attracting a customer, it can be very similar. But actually, there's nothing less inspiring than somebody who's just super lackluster, who kind of says it but very wishy-washy. You, like Johnathan said, you need to be prepared and know what you're saying, and you say it with confidence, even if you don't know everything. If I don't know something, then I say it. Oh my gosh, that's an amazing question. Let's look it up together. That's confident. It's to the point. And actually, I don't know the answer, but that's okay, because I'm not meant to know the answer. And doTERRA doesn't want you to know the answer. They want you to teach people that it's accessible. the most amazing change as well is when you're presenting a class, for example. If you make it the most unbelievably in-depth, super complicated class, nobody will ever say, oh, I could do that. I could totally do that. They're all going to go, oh my gosh, that was unbelievably amazing. I could never do that. And that's where you've got that really important thing that you're trying to inspire people that they could do this too. It's meant to be duplicable. So you need to make sure that you're allowing it to be duplicable. Collaborations. This is my favorite because this is literally how we have found builders. Now, for so long, I had major blocks with, oh my gosh, I need to find a builder. Where do I find that builder? What does a builder look like? How do I find this builder? I don't know, but there's somewhere out there and I need to find it. You know, this kind of desperation, which is not attractive either. Yeah. But basically, as soon as I switched it up as to who could these oils help increase their income, who has a business that needs additional income that this could integrate into easily. So then I started to think and focus on those types of people. And you know that mindset? I focused on those people. Now, these are anybody in the wellness industry. Anybody. Mm-hmm. Anybody in the wellness industry who wants to help people. They are people who could integrate the oils in to their business.
And I think some people may go, well, how would I start a collaboration? And one of the biggest things I love is I love making people happy. Harmony is one of my strengths. And I genuinely look, if I think somebody's done a good job or somebody's presented well, I will go up to them, I will go out my way and I'll say, what you did today was really, really impressive. I loved what you said, and I will pick things out of what they said to make them feel great about themselves. And what I say to them is say, I don't know how, sometimes if you want to break that ice, because they could be quite a sort of stern person, don't let anybody in, you could say, I don't know how, but one day I would love to collaborate with you, or I would love to collaborate with you. How could we do that? How could we make it happen? And then they go, message me, let's chat after this, and that is it. It is literally just asking. So just don't be afraid to open your mouth and just ask.
And the other key thing about collaborations is most people are not looking for extra work, are they?
No.
We certainly weren't looking for extra work. I was not looking for an additional business. We run our other business. We've run it for like nearly 15 years. And I was the complete opposite to looking for work. So what you have to be aware of is that if you go in saying to somebody, oh my gosh, you'd be amazing at this business, it may just completely shut them down.
Totally.
As in, what are you talking about? I'm so busy. If anything else comes into my life, I might spontaneously combust. I just can't take anything else. Please don't talk to me about anything else. But when you're talking about collaboration, this is where you can absolutely slot doTERRA in to what they're already doing. So for example, I have worked with a life coach and I have integrated in to their presentations these essential oils. I've worked with yoga teachers who integrate this in to their sessions. Now all of that then funnels into the classes online that I'm doing, or the classes locally that I'm doing, or we create events local to them. What that means is in their mind, they're not doing a business or an extra business, you're collaborating. And actually over time, what then happens is they develop this passion and love for doTERRA that then grows into a business.
But also they grow and love and have a passion for you, don't they?
Yeah.
Because they see what you're doing, they love that person that is you. And that's where the enthusiasm comes back into it.
Yeah.
Is that they see the passion and they go, oh, wow, actually. And so, all you're doing is you're just sharing. And you're like, yes, that's it. That's all you have to do. obviously with a bit of other stuff, but that's how it all starts.
Absolutely. Okay, last one on this page.
Okay, so last one is contacting. So what I wanted to highlight is emailing. So there'll be some people that have experience going to maybe fairs, or it could be contacts that they've made, could have met them on the tube, and you send them an email, or you might send them a text. And so I would send a text, I would send an email, and I'd get no reply. And I'd be like, okay, tick them off the list, no reply, might send another reply maybe 2 weeks later, then I'm done. What I would encourage you to do is those that have your contact lists, get them out. If they've got a bit of dust on them, don't worry, blow it off. I certainly have. And it's email them until you get a reply. Now that's not send an email every week. It could be just once a month. It could be, and again, we mentioned this in the last team call about Sarah Vernon, the awesome Sarah Vernon. She can tell you her story again, another point. But it really is true, because I had been emailing.
Well, wait, you can't say that and not say what her story is really quickly.
Okay.
Basically, that Sarah picked up on an email that was sent after months and months of not looking at and opening the emails. So, sorry, I had to add that in there, otherwise nobody knows.
I had met this amazing couple at an event. He was super amazed about the science, and when you get excited, you meet that contact. He's like, yes, oh my gosh, she's into natural health, and she's in this, and she's in that, and you're like, yes, and then you get no reply, and then you're like, oh man, I marked them a 10 on my list, and so I thought, no, do you know what? I'm just going to email you until you say no or take me off the list. So I did that, and I got a reply last week. And do you know what they said after 6 weeks? They said, Johnathan, thank you so much for emailing us. Thank you for remembering us. We still remember everything that you said and the experience that we had. We're so sorry. We've been moving house. We've been on holiday. We've had so much stuff that we've been sorting with the house move. Such and such has been presenting in Amsterdam at a health conference, blah, blah, blah. Please let me know of the online classes. And again, it's just proof is in the pudding. Just keep on it and you will get a reply.
Okay, so then the next little bit, and we are going to skim over this a little bit just because this is all available online. But our job is selling, okay? Now, I was really uncomfortable with that word. I was like, I'm not a salesperson, I'm a teacher. I was a primary teacher before. I'm not a salesperson. I used to literally say it. But actually, we are selling. We're selling a way of life. We're selling a solution. And we're selling this as well as we're selling the business. So selling the doTERRA way is about service and serving others by reaching out and listening and building relationships. So we've already spoken about that. It's genuinely caring about the people in your life. So the doTERRA way redefines the sales to mean authenticity, integrity, and compassion by connecting people to the solutions that they need. And so this goes back to Johnathan saying about the listening. Okay, so be mindful of what you say. I am also guilty of saying you don't have to buy anything. Soon as you say you don't have to buy anything, at the end of they think, oh, okay, well, she told me actually that I don't have to buy anything, so I won't buy anything. And that is like this thing that you bring in an energy. Whereas if you say at the end of the class, I'll show you how to get these oils into your home and help you pick out the best solution for your family. You're basically guiding them in such a lovely way. There's nothing harsh or salesy about that in any way, shape or form. So, and this is one I use when people ask me, what do I do? This is so powerful. I help women, and it can be people. There's guys in the room.
I've used this.
Okay, so I help women become the best versions of themselves by using natural solutions to improve energy, sleep, and wellness. That is so powerful. All of this is in the doTERRA sales guide. Okay, listening. We're not going to read it all out, Johnathan, because I know it's getting late. So, but you wanted to really talk about the fact that how often people need to listen.
Yeah,
for.
Listening in this in your business is one of the biggest attributes. Either you grow or you need to grow. It's something that I had to learn to do, and that is actually, somebody might be telling you that they have migraines, but you're so interested in trying to give them a kit. But like when we come back to those testimonies and stories, past tense might be that one thing that they just need at that time. And it's also listening to their journey, where they've come from, and they want to tell their stories. And this is a way of engaging with them and actually creating that relationship and nurturing. So we talk about touches, and this is one of the biggest ways, because that person may not buy a kit that day, but has created that relationship and go, do you know what? Cathrine really listened to me, and she really listened to my, whether it be my moans about my joints or my moans about whatever it might be. And that's the key thing. And then it's waiting and it's pausing, and then it's giving, well, this is how I can help you. Everything, and almost saying, oh, look, you poor thing, I can totally relate to that experience.
Absolutely. Okay, so the last little bit, know what you're sharing. So really think about what it is that you're actually creating for them. So you're selling that wellness lifestyle. Again, I'm not going to read all of this. Please do go to that and actually read this directly in the book. The last little bit that we want to cover, just because we love it and we know that it helped us so much, our mindset and just building this business. Okay, so, sorry.
That's all right.
Unlock your potential using all the tools available to us. So you saw this from Daniel. It's on our Facebook group. It's in that group. You can download them. You can look at them. Really focus on what that means for you and the areas that you want to be able to strengthen and develop those key habits. But I love this. Okay, key mindset habits. Accountability. Understand that you're responsible for your success and don't make excuses. I love this because we're all, we're actually kind of pre-programmed to go, oh, I didn't achieve that because so-and-so did this, or I didn't achieve that because so-and-so said that, or did this. But actually, this is what's so cool about this business. You're building your own business. You get to partnership up with the people you want to partnership up with, and you are responsible for your own growth. I love it. And then we're all here to help. That's what's so cool. The coachability, so be open to feedback and take advice from others. Know what you want to accomplish and why. Don't take no personally. Recognize building relationships takes time, and it really is that process. Some of the people we're now working with in this business, we absolutely love them to bits. They are literally friends. We developed those friendships first, and then they blossomed into business partners, and they're wonderful, and we love being able to spend time with them and actually do this business with them.
Vision. So know what you want to accomplish and why. And so that's a big thing. Like whether it's a vision, whether you have a vision board, lots of people love that, but it's actually knowing where you want to get to in your business and helping. And that comes as part of your why.
And then be kind to yourself because you can get there. You just, you absolutely can. So tool set. I wanted to do this, but because about the cost and the I can't speak. Wait a minute. Right. If you had a job, okay, let's say you're Presidential Diamond and you're on 72,000 a month. Okay, let's say you Googled a job that got that amount of money a month. What would their job description be? What hours would they have to do? And really think about that. So think about the area that you are working towards. So if you are wanting to be gold, for example, and the amount of money that gold requires, is putting in your mind what job description would be earning that amount of money, and how many hours would they be putting in to earn that type of money. doTERRA is a job, not a hobby. I absolutely love that. because we can earn as if it is a job, because it is a job. But if you kind of play around with it as if it's a hobby, then obviously you only get the payments of it as if it's a hobby.
Yeah.
If you kind of say to yourself, I need to have tool set habits, I need to actually set things down because this is a business, then that is when you start to attract other people who want to work with you, because what they see is they see that you work a business. They see that you are a respectable business person and an entrepreneurial business person, and then they want to unite with you. If they see you flapping all around, I used to do this, Daniel's testament of this. I used to run like, I'm so busy. That is not attractive.
Yeah.
It's not attractive, and it doesn't attract people who want to partnership up with you.
Yeah.
Lastly, because I know we're going over, sorry, a little bit.
That's all right.
Is those skill set habits. So this is one that we've had to develop a lot, isn't it, Johnathan? When you say you'll do something.
Yeah.
This is something that we definitely had to get really much better at, because we would get really excited and go, yes, oh my gosh, yes, I'll totally send you that sample. Yeah. Tumbleweed moments like days later. And you can't do that, because what that does is it hurts that relationship.
Yeah.
And it hurts that person, because they think, well, they really don't really care enough about me.
And I think as well, the one at the bottom, consistency. Focus your energy on being consistent, and that is the biggest thing that I will hold my hand up to. That at the very beginning, just wasn't there.
No, we didn't.
Just wasn't. Yeah. I'll send you a sample. Oh, where's that sticky Post-it note gone? Oh, I've lost the contact. Or, oh yeah, I'll send it out to you 2 weeks later. Oh, sorry, I still haven't sent it to you. It's like, you get it, you do it now. Or you put it on there and you put it on a date and you do it. And that is just be consistent. If you're consistent in what you say you're going to do, it will pay dividends. You will fly.
Mm-hmm. And it's also that money making activities like organizing your oils in alphabetical order and doing things like that definitely doesn't bring in money. So use the tools that we have been provided with. Focus on being who you would want to work with. It's actually similar to, I talk about this with a couple of my friends. You know, if you are looking for a partner, be who you would want to be. You're only going to attract a mirror image of yourself. We say this a lot. You hear this a lot. If you're running around really scatty, you're going to attract someone running around really scatty. If you want to attract somebody, be that security, be that consistency, be that inspiring person, and then you will attract those people. And that is it.
Yeah.
Really. Don't get scared, because all of these tools are available.
And I think as well, in closing, just remember your brain is a muscle. So don't be afraid to open your mouth, because of all the stuff that you've read, that you watch, your passion of using the essential oils, modern essentials guide, it's all there. So as you open and you share, you will find that it just starts coming out. So just start by opening your mouth, and the rest will start to follow. Yeah. And that's it.
Oh, thank you so much, guys. That was amazing. We really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and thank you everyone for your time. I'm just going to stop sharing here. Can we do that? Okay. Well, yeah, that was amazing. Thank you so much. You're still in control of the screen, so I can't thank everybody. No, don't worry. Oh. But yeah, thank you so much. We know how precious everyone's time is, so I hope that was helpful. It certainly was for me, and really appreciates everyone's time. So thank you so much, and I'll end the recording now. So we'll see you next week.